continues.
Well, there are just some pests that seem to appear every now and then and causing homeowners to ask, what's up with that? Scott Robbins of Action Pest tells us more about those occasional invaders. What is an occasional invader?
An occasional invader, Ange, is really just a term that we use for a pest that is getting inside of your home, but it can't complete its life cycle inside your house. Like crickets, now there are certain types of crickets that can complete their life cycle and infest the house. But most of them that you see, like the little black field crickets, those crickets are just getting lost and getting inside. Or it could be in the case of like a Pennsylvania woods cockroach. Big, nasty looking cockroach, but it's late into spring or early summer. They're attracted to our porch lights, and if one of them crawls underneath the gap of the door, especially if it's a female, she's releasing pheromones because it's mating season, and next thing you know, you've got males running around, so you've got big crickets, but they don't complete their life cycle indoors. We just call them occasional invaders.
Well, what do we do about those to prevent them from coming in?
Really, some of the things are just to keep them from getting in, period. So as a homeowner, it may be that you need a new door sweep on that door, or that porch light. You could change the color of that bulb to something that's less attractive to pests. There used to be the yellow dichrome-coated bug light bulbs. Now everyone, of course, is saving money and switching to LEDs. LEDs, generally speaking, are less attractive to insects, but there are some brighter, wider, or blue or high-intensity LEDs that everyone likes because it makes things really nice and clear. Those, unfortunately, are still very attractive to insects. So getting the right type of cool temperature-rated LEDs is less attractive, but just doing that exclusion. Maybe it's gaps around your window or door frame itself where those little ants or other insects are crawling in, and just sealing those things up with the proper sealant. If you're using silicone-based, unfortunately, though, you're not going to be able to paint over that.
Okay, so you want something, A, that you can paint over, but it's also going to seal. You showed me one time at a house, remember, we looked at the sill, and I would have never thought to look there. It was an opportunity for invaders to come in.
Absolutely. And you're not talking a very tiny gap, you know, in the case of many of these insects. There are some of these little tiny invaders that are moisture-related pests, like sosids or springtails. That can be a completely different issue to deal with, but most of them can be dealt with by just having a regularly scheduled preventive application done around your home.
And how often should we do that, Scott? Once we do a contract with you or strike a deal with you, how often should we be treating?
Well, our basic program starts up and it's a quarterly program. So, and it's really if you're not having a lot of pressure. If you live in the middle of a woods where you're going to be under more pressure than someone in the middle of town would be from some of these occasional invader pests, then we have a bi-monthly program.
So you can get ahead of it and stay ahead of it.
Absolutely.
So the best thing to do is give you guys a call and have you come out and kind of assess the property.
Yeah, we can assess the property. We can take a look at not only what pests you're seeing, what's bugging you now, but also just what other conducive conditions might be there, and maybe find some other things that you haven't thought of.
You always teach us something every time you come. Thank you, Scott. It's good to see you. Call Scott Robbins at Action Pest for all of your pests throughout the year. We'll be back with more local lifestyles right after this. Stay with us.
This portion of Lifestyles has been sponsored by Action Pest Control.